Hey guys, how's it going? This is Bage here, and I'm here with the NPL Season 5 Week 3 Game of the Week with Cypher versus Aberforth, Lipards versus Berloons. And you guys know I typically have my co-host Matt with me, but for some unforeseen circumstances, he did leave the NPL. But I'm not alone. I have my friend Dave Fernape here, so if you just want to say hi.
Hello everybody, it's Dave Fernape here. And thank you for pronouncing my name correctly.
No problem, man. So these two players right here, do you see any potential leads between the two?
I see a very powerful Conkeldurr that can put in work. I think the best leads, probably Aerodactyl because it can set up Stealth Rocks. Maybe Cypher could lead with Thundurus, while Aberforth might lead with Raikou because Volt switching. But I think Aerodactyl is the best lead.
Yes, I also do agree with that, but Cypher here can bring out a lot of different leads. He can bring out that Celebi, the Heatran for rocks. He can also bring out that Thundy for Volt switching if it's a Choice Scarf set, and same with Noivern if he wants to get off like a Frisk U-turn by any chance. So, yeah, so let's get on with the match right here. As Aberforth here is going to lead with his Aerodactyl, and Cypher's going to lead off with that Noivern. So I'm just going to pause it right here. So we see right now that this Aerodactyl is carrying an Expert Belt. What do you have any thoughts on that?
That's really good knowledge for Cypher to find out, because he can mistake that for a different item. He also knows it's not Focus Sash, but that also means that Aerodactyl could be one of the main things to stop Pokemon like Noivern and Conkeldurr from having fun.
And pretty much, and if we think about Zapdos' move pool, we can think it has Earthquake, Aerial Ace, and possibly Ice Fang for that Noivern since he might be leading with it. So, and that pretty much hits everything on his team for almost super effective damage, barring the Umbreon. So that can really put. So this Aerodactyl here has the possibility of putting a ton of work on Cypher's team. So again, it's a very good lead. So we are going to resume the battle right here, as we do see that this Noivern is possibly a Choice Scarf set, and the Aerodactyl loses about 8% on the U-turn. While this Aerodactyl is going to go right for an Ice Fang, trying to see if the Noivern wanted to just stay in. So, yeah. Do you have any thoughts?
In the chat, I see TTM Fog saying 8% damage isn't 8% Dave's win-loss percentage. Okay, you know what? You went 1-9 last season. I did better than you. You don't talk to me.
Damn.
But it's good scouting from Cypher, and I guess that means that Noivern might be potentially scarfed. So that's good knowledge for Aberforth.
Yes, definitely. And again, this Umbreon is only switching to this Aerodactyl right here, which is again very good knowledge to learn. So we're going to resume here, as the Aerodactyl is going to switch out right into that Altaria, just going to force a switch in on this on the Umbreon right now. As again, Cypher can probably scout out this can probably just scout out the actually no, he actually just switches out, maybe predicting a switch into the Heatran, as Aberforth does a very good job in doing, as he does predict that Heatran very well. I think we can also assume this that this Mega Altaria here doesn't have Earthquake, correct? Can we assume this?
I mean, if he predicted Air Balloon, he's probably a legend, but not having Earthquake would give it another move slot for something like Roost or any other like Fire Blast or anything for maybe Celebi.
I think another reason why he could have switched was because the Altaria was toxic, so this could reveal that this is a more offensive Altaria not carrying Heal Bell. Correct? Or am I wrong in thinking that, or?
It could mean a whole lot of things. It could have just been an incredible play. It could have just been like sheer luck that it worked out like that.
Alright, so Cypher here is gonna bring the switch in the Celebi on this Starmie right here. As Starmie's gonna go for a Scald, does about 14%, and he does not get a burn sadly, which wouldn't really matter just because the Celebi does usually care Natural Cure. Actually, no, yeah, that's his only ability. As Aberforth here is gonna go right into the Aerodactyl, as Celebi is gonna go for a Nasty Plot. So we could probably expect the Nasty Plot Baton Pass into the Noivern, possibly, as Celebi is going to go right for a Giga Drain, getting a crit on this. I don't know if the crit mattered. I haven't really run the calcs. Have you run any calcs on this? Do you know if that crit mattered or not, or do you think that crit was a really big deal? Because now the Aerodactyl is gone, probably when a huge offensive force for Aberforth, since again it hits everything on his team for super effective damage, barring the Umbreon.
I can check right now if the crit mattered. If it did, that is a pretty big deal, because that means Celebi would have been like maybe 60% health lower, probably, from any other attack that Aerodactyl wanted to go for. It could have probably gone for Ice Fang, hoping for a flinch or whatnot.
Aerial Ace probably would have taken it out again if it wasn't a crit, or if the crit didn't even matter.
That's true, but if he ran calcs and knew like maybe damage rolls weren't in his favor, obviously he could have hoped for hacks with Ice Fang, but that will never happen in this case. Checking right now if that crit mattered, because Aerodactyl's not in the Pokemon calculator. Thank you.
Wait, really? Huh. Aero.
Okay, just don't show up the first time. Okay, thank you.
But as we can see right now, Aberforth is going to bring out the Sneasel, as this is his only real revenge killer for this Umbreon. Maybe if that Darmanitan was Choice Scarfed, but yeah, there's a really good chance that this Darm is Choice Scarfed. But yeah, Aberforth is going to bring out the Sneasel right now. He could probably just easily Pursuit Trap it, or just knock it off, or even just going for an Icicle Crash, because the only thing that really can resist an Icicle Crash is the Heatran. Not that Heatran wants to risk it losing a possible air balloon or any possible item on a knockoff, or even take a whole bunch of damage from a low kick. But yeah, and Cypher doesn't really want to lose this Celebi just because it's one of his only real checks to this Raikou and even the Starmie. Umbreon could probably take a hit from the Starmie, so
I have confirmed that the crit I don't think mattered.
Alright, cool. So yeah, so the crit didn't matter, but Aberforth did lose a huge offensive Mon right here, because again, that Aerodactyl did so much to Cypher's team. So we're going to resume this battle right here, as again, Aberforth brings out a Sneasel. He's going to go right for the knockoff, and he is going to sack off his Celebi. Now then, again, with the Celebi being gone, he loses his only real switch into the Starmie and the Raikou. Actually, if the Raikou wasn't carrying Shadow Ball, then yeah. But the Celebi was a pretty big defensive pivot in terms of both counting Starmie and Raikou. Of course, he does have Umbreon to take those hits, as it doesn't seem that, since the Raikou isn't shiny, we can't assume that it does not have Aura Sphere to really hit the Umbreon. So, yeah, with that being said, we're going to move on with the game here. As the Celebi is going to go down, he's going to go right into that Conkeldurr. Now then, here's a really good play on Aberforth's part. He took a really big gamble on this. He goes for the Icicle Crash, predicting the knockoff, or not caring about Mach Punch or Drain Punch, as he goes to the knockoff, and the Sneasel is at about 42%, as he's going to switch in his Starmie on the next Mach Punch. Really good play. Now he's going to force out the switch in for this Conkeldurr right here. Now that was some really good plays on Aberforth's part. Do you have any commentary on that, or any thoughts?
If that didn't work out for him, he would have looked like a complete failure, but luckily for him it did, and he looks great.
Yeah, and again, that Sneasel can put in a ton of work, because it cannot speed the Thundurus. If it has Ice Shard, it could probably take out that Noivern. If it had Low Kick, it could take on that Heatran, and of course knock off to possibly knock off Umbreon's lefties, which is really important. So he made a really big risk in keeping that Sneasel in there. So he's gonna go. So Cypher here is gonna go right into that Umbreon, as this time he is gonna get the burn, but because it's synchronized, that Starmie is also going to get the burn. Now if the Starmie is analytic, then that burn will suck. But it is actually natural cure, so it's gonna switch right out back into the Sneasel, as Cypher here is gonna go for a Wish. Now, this Umbreon could probably just stay and do anything he wants, but he knows that he can get a solid switch in back into the Conkeldurr, because I believe he can take another Icicle Crash if I remember correctly. Can it? Because the Icicle Crash, I do not. Yeah, it's about.
I believe it can.
Yeah, the Conk is about 60%, and the Icicle Crash did about 40%. So unless it's a crit, the Conk can easily come right back in, as the Sneasel here is just going to go for a knockoff, trying to get rid of an item on something, as Conk's Assault Vest is gone, so that means Starmie has, again, a better chance at taking it out in case it gets a Scald Burn or something like that. As This time, Aberforth does not stay in on the conk, goes right on the Starmie, and Cypher, having no need to really predict, goes right for the knockoff, taking out the Starmie. So now Aberforth has lost his Starmie. His only way to get rid of hazards. So, and keep in mind, he has 3 Mons weak to rocks right now, so this is not really looking too good for Aberforth right here. And again, this is his only real... Actually, no, it's not really his only real counter, but it's his only real switch, in my opinion, to the conk. Or actually, maybe not, because he still has Mega Altaria, but that is not Mega Evolved yet. So he doesn't really have a real switch into the conk. Any thoughts on that? Do you think conk can more or less win the game from here?
If it has Ice Punch right here, it could do a huge deal of damage. Basically, Aberforth is probably just going to have to run a lot of calcs and see what lives, what doesn't, what can kill, what can't. Those series of 50-50s involving Conkeldurr with hitting either Sneasel or Starmie were huge, and I'm pretty sure both players were shaking in their boots during that whole sequence.
Yes, I believe so as well. So we're going to move on here, as Aberforth is going to bring out his Altaria. He's going to... And... Cypher making a very, very good play here, switches out the conk and goes right into Heatran. It is an Air Balloon Heatran, like we did think. So, yeah, this, and again, Aberforth is just going to go right for Frustration, doing 12% to this Heatran, getting rid of the Air Balloon. As again, we can now figure out that this Altaria does not have Earthquake. So, that can bring some of our previous Theory Mons back into place from a few minutes ago. So, yeah. As Aberforth is going to bring out the Sneasel right here as Heatran's going to get Brox, because again, Aberforth does not have a lot of, can't really switch in as much now due to rocks, as Sneasel is just going to keep on Ice Cold crashing. Now, this conk doesn't go for a Mach Punch. Do you think that was the correct play or not? Do you think maybe it was right for him to maybe predict Altaria?
With rocks up, it makes it really hard for switches, and I don't know, I felt like the first time he would have really lost nothing by going for Mach Punch, but if he had Ice Punch, I guess it was a good play, it was a better play, but if he didn't have knockoff, or I mean if he didn't have Ice Punch or Poison Jab to hit the Altaria, that could have been bad for him. If he had Drain Punch, that was a bad play in general.
Mm-hmm. In my opinion, I do believe he should have Mach Punch right there, but we will see what he's about to do, as we won't be able to see because he gets flinched, sadly. So that is some pretty bad stuff on Cypher's part, as he is going to go right for the Mach Punch, taking out that Sneasel. And yeah, so Aberforth is going to bring out his Darmanitan. He really has no real switch in other to a Choice Scarf Flare Blitz, other than the Heatran if it is carrying a Flash Fire, or the Noivern since it does resist, as he's going to bring in his Noivern, as Aberforth is going to go for the Fire Punch. That's something you don't really see very often. Fire Punch, whatchamacallit, Darmanitan. Do you think carrying Fire Punch would have been a good idea? Maybe he wanted to preserve this thing because he didn't know that he doesn't really have a whole lot of switch-ins to a Darmanitan. He didn't want it to lose a lot of health. What are your opinions on bringing Fire Punch on Darmanitan? Hello? Alright, so it looks like we have a little bit of connection problems with GVP. He'll probably let me know when I can hear him. Ah, there we are.
Skype is wonderful.
Yep.
Well,
hashtag Discord.
When we see the Noivern coming in and it frisks the Darmanitan, we see the Salic Berry, which just shows that he probably was a substitute set that would raise its speed or maybe even Belly Drum. So obviously he'd be at low health, so he can't have Fire Blast if that was his plan on sweeping, Flare Blitz rather.
Mm-hmm.
That would have ended up killing him, and he doesn't have Fire Blast, so that shows he's not the Zen Darmanitan.
Alright. Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. So yeah, we're gonna keep on going through with this. As the Noivern does go for a Hurricane, knocking out the Darm. I don't think the crit mattered, just because Darm is pretty frail, and this Noivern with Stab Hurricane is just broken. As he's just gonna go for another Hurricane on the Mega Altaria, no reason to predict, as the Noivern does go down. And this is not looking very good for Aberforth right here. He has a Mega Altaria super low. He has a proper switch with Heatran, and his only real Mon that is at full health is the Raikou. So what do you think your chances of Aberforth are for winning right now? Do you think he has any hope?
If he has like a Specs Raikou and paralyzes stuff, that might work. As long as Cypher plays smart and doesn't let either Altaria or Raikou start setting up, then he's definitely got it in the bag. He just makes sure which Pokemon he lets in versus the remaining last Pokemon isn't weak to it.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to keep on going through with this. Cypher's going to bring out his Thundurus, actually, not the Heatran. So what are your thoughts on that? I think we can already theorize that this Mega Altaria no longer has Earthquake. So do you think not bringing the Heatran was a bad idea? Or maybe he was just really scared of Earthquake? Do you think maybe he was just hiding Earthquake? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think he should have brought out Heatran, knowing that we have a very, very good idea that he does not have the Earthquake? What are your thoughts?
Raikou has a chance of carrying HP ground, and Heatran probably can't fight back against Raikou too well. So he probably does. He wants to make sure that whatever's left in isn't going to lose to Raikou. And looking at the rest of his team, he doesn't have too much that does too well against Raikou. So maybe this Thundurus has knockoff or some hidden power that can hit Raikou, like hidden power ground or something. But if he doesn't, then he has to hope that Raikou doesn't have like anything. Like you said, it can't have Aura Sphere unless it's like illegal. So
yeah, it has to be a shiny Raikou with a Rash
Yeah,
nature.
so he has to, at this point, Aberforth can win by hacks, or unless like Thundurus literally can't touch it, and it turns out to be like maybe substitute.
Now my question for you is, do you think he should have brought out the Heatran instead?
It's a risky play. I don't think Heatran revealed anything that could hit Raikou, and I don't think we saw all 4 of its moves, so if it had Earth Power, then definitely bring Heatran in right now, because I'm pretty sure we've established that Altaria has no Earthquake. And if it did, I mean, that would be just real. For him to fake that the entire time.
Yeah, that would be a lord play on Aberforth's part.
Yeah, but and there wouldn't be that much you could do about that. But Conkeldurr, maybe he has a plan to switch into Conkeldurr. I don't know what his thought process is, but maybe there's a reason why Heatran couldn't come in. Maybe it literally can't touch the Raikou.
All right, so we're going to continue out this game as Aberforth is going to reveal his last Pokemon with the Raikou, and we are going to see something pretty darn amazing. This Thundurus is going to go for a Nasty Plot, as Raikou has Calm Mind, so we can probably assume this is a bulky Raikou, as it does reveal leftovers. So, Aberforth is just going to keep on playing this Calm Mind game. Now, here's where I think Cypher misplayed a little bit. I think he should have just kept on Nasty Plotting, just because, or maybe just run some calcs, because this Raikou could just play the Calm Mind game, or the setup game. Cypher has the advantage with Nasty Plot. If he had just kept on Nasty Plotting, do you think the Thundurus would have been able to just deal a butt ton of damage to that Raikou and maybe have Conk weaken it a little bit with Mach Punch, then have Heatran finish it off? What are your thoughts on this? Do you think Cypher should have kept on Nasty Plotting, trying to deal as much damage as possible, or just continually just keep on hidden powering as he is doing right now?
If the Thundurus only had Thunderbolt and Hidden Power Ice that could hit the Raikou, then maybe sitting there and Nasty Plotting wouldn't have been... Maybe you shouldn't have done it in the first place. That would be, I think, your initial reaction should have been switch before he was able to get up Calm Minds. If he had something else, like, I don't know what else he could have had. I would assume his last move is Thunder Wave. I guess staying in wouldn't have helped him at all. He would have been able to do a lot of damage, but he just doesn't want to let the Raikou set up to +4/+4 and just straight up sweep him. On a side note, I calced it, and I don't think Noivern's crit mattered on Darmanitan unless he had health, which I don't think he did.
Alright, so just to let you guys know who were curious about that. So, we're going to keep on going on here, as we're going to see what happens. He's going to get rid of that Thundurus, just as you thought maybe he should get rid of it as soon as possible, as now we have a +3 Raikou. This thing's scary. It outspeeds everything on his team, so yeah. As he's going to go for the Sickle Beam, knocking out this Umbreon right now. Actually, wait, hang on, I'll be right back. And we're back. Sorry about that. My my dad was leaving. I had to say goodbye. So anyways, we do see the Raikou taking down that Umbreon with the Signal Beam. So we're just going to keep on seeing this Raikou can sweep or not. So Raikou is going to go for Thunderbolt, taking out that Heatran right there. So we even see what this Heatran can do. So as right now, I'm pretty sure Raikou wins from here. And this is just a great comeback from Aberforth. He kept this Raikou in a nice place, hoping that maybe it could sweep. So this was just great preservation on Aberforth's part. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I don't think there was much that Cypher could do. I just looking at his team matchup, it just with the signal meme on the Raikou, that was great. That was great prep by Aberforth. Unfortunately, Cypher couldn't really do anything about that. Honestly, looking at all of his team, it lost to Raikou after it got a Calm Mind up. The entire time, Cypher made sure that Raikou couldn't come in, but at the end, when it's last Pokemon and you're limited, and you know, it's a tough situation for Cypher, and Aberforth played it perfectly, and Cypher also played pretty well and should be able to.
Yes, both these. Yeah, I'm sorry, but both these coaches played a fantastic game, I must say. So I'm sorry. Continue.
So whoever plays Cypher next week shouldn't sleep on him, because he could have honestly gotten 6-0'd, but he brought it down that close.
Yeah, it really all depended on what set the Raikou had. Like, if it wasn't a Calm Mind set, I do think Cypher had a very good chance at winning this game, 100%. So yeah, so we are going to keep on continuing here. As again, he's going to go into his Conk right now, go for a Mach Punch, as he's going to get off a Thunderbolt, hitting that Conk, taking it out. So, and he's going to reveal his last Pokemon, which is Thundurus, and we both know that Thundurus cannot touch Raikou, as he's going to go for Thunderbolt and knock out the Thundurus. So, again, this was a fantastic game between both these opponents. They both made very good plays. Aberforth, it wasn't really he played a very good early to mid game, and then late game he was getting beat bad. Cypher was just destroying this man, and then here comes the Raikou saving him from this game. So there is no doubt in my mind why this game is the game of the week. It was a very close game. Lots of good plays, just really good in general. So
there was this other match that had two good players, but they're bad.
Which game are you referring to?
Well, let's just let the viewers guess on that one. So, yeah, this was a pretty good game, and definitely deserved game of the week. Both opponents played really well, and I'm excited if they could meet again in the playoffs. That'd be lit.
Yes, definitely. And guys, I hope you all enjoyed this. I liked the banter. I like the talking between us. How much more analytic this series is becoming. So yeah, I'd just like to thank my new co-host GVP, or Dave Fernape here. And yeah, any closing notes here?
Subscribe to me.
Yeah, both of our channels will be in the description below, so subscribe. Yeah. Bye guys.
Me.